So now we'll go over ambulation on the stairs or stair climbing with a patient with non-weight bearing. And I'm going to ask my patient if she has stairs at home. If she has stairs at home, and do you have handrail at home?
Yes.
Do you have handrail and stairs?
Yes.
Okay. So the handrail at your house are on what side going up?
Right.
Right side going up. Just make sure, because some patients they may live in the basement, so their handrail will be on the right, but going down to the basement, or whichever way it goes. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate to my patient how to use those. And of course everything else applies with the wheelchair locks, the shoes, the leg rest, and the gait belt. I established the patient has a handrail at home. I'm going to have her use it. We do have 2 crutches, so what I will do is I will also show her how to use 2 crutches together. So one way is you can hold 2 crutches together and hold both of them with one hand. But if the patient has small hands, it's not very comfortable, so thus it's not very safe. So you may opt for the patient to crisscross your crutches, like this. Find a middle point, and that's much easier because obviously this is not as thick as this handle. And that's how the patient would hold the crutch. I would show my patient how to do the crutches, and for non-weight bearing, again, she's using her handrail on the right. I'm going to ask her to, when she's ready to go up the step, to put all her body weight through both of her hands, and then as she's doing that, bring the left leg up. As you can see, I'm not really jumping like a bunny. There's really no hopping involved in this at all. All it is a hand control and the low extreme to just go up, just like this. Once the patient is on this top level, you would want the patient to turn around, and of course you want the patient to turn around through her strong side. And there are 2 choices. Choice number 1, you can have the patient bring the crutches around, and they can turn around this way. Or, let me show you again, you can have the patient keep the crutch where it is and turn around with it, just like this. Be aware that now, patient doesn't have this rail at home. Patient has this rail at home, right? So what they're going to do is, they're going to have to switch this. And now that it's switched, make sure that the patient's being closer to the railing, again, because this is more supportive. As the patient ready to go down, you're going to have them straighten out their weak leg, bring the crutch first, and again, leaning on the arms, bring the other leg down. So it's crutch and a leg. Crutch and a leg. Okay? So, let's try doing this with our patient. And one more time, I'm going to adjust the crutches to her height, because these are to my height. And while I'm doing this, I might ask you, do you remember, can you repeat to me what you were doing, what I was doing, what you're going to be doing in a minute?
I would be using the rail on the right side. My crutches will be on the left.
Okay.
Non-weight bearing as ordered on the right lower extremity. Putting my weight through my arms, I will lift my body weight up to a left stance, left leg onto the 1 step at a time.
Okay. And going down, what goes down first, your leg or the crutches?
The crutches.
Correct. See, I have a perfect patient. Okay, so one more time, I'm going to give the patient, I'm going to see, I'm going to have to make sure that she's putting it correctly. I'm going to ask her to scoot forward. Okay, so that leg is going to be, if it's a non-weight bearing leg, we're going to want the patient not to lean on it. So do not lean on this leg. You probably want to keep it off the floor. You don't need to use your left leg to keep that on the floor. Come on up. Okay? Put crutches under your arms. And of course, one more time, whenever you get a chance, make sure the patient is not feel letting this go through the excellent. I'm going to ask the patient to take a few steps. And just for demonstration purposes, we're going to show you 2 ways to guard the patient. On the way up, the patient is going to be guarded as supervision. And on the way down, the patient is going to be guarded as mod assist. Obviously, in real life, the patient most likely be the same, needing the same guarding going upstairs and going downstairs, right? Ascending and descending. So now that I'm getting the patient ready, I'm going to make sure that she knows to put her hand on a rail. And I'll help her out because it's the first time. Just put your hand on a rail first. Okay? Which she did. And I'm going to give her the crutch. All right, give her crutches. So my patient is, are you comfortable?
That's me.
Okay, she's all good. And she's going to be supervision. So go ahead. As you can see, patient is leaning through her arms. There's no hopping. Once the patient reaches the top, she can turn through the strong side. Not all the space here. Of course, patient's not going to do this at home because we're not going to be turning like that. And now the patient up's up here. I'm going to come up because I'm going to have the patient go and guard her going downstairs with a mod assist. Okay? One more time, I'm going to ask my patient to come to the front. A little bit more. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Let me just make sure that this is good. So, go ahead. So my patient almost forgot, but then she remembered. Very important to make sure that as the patient is ready to come down, the low extremity, the weak low extremity is sticking out. Only because if it's not, that is going to get caught and patient is going to fall. Which you don't want this happening. So, bring the crutch down. And come on down. Make sure you keep your hand in front of you. It will give you more support. Once the patient is downstairs, you can have them hold on to the other crutch. Go ahead, take the other crutch. And let's turn around and you will sit down. Go ahead. All the way back until you feel the shape behind your legs. Put the crutches together. That was not ideal hand positioning, so I may as well ask her to redo this for me. Scoot forward and stand up, just so that you remember that that's where your hand's supposed to be. Now we need to actually bring your crutches out, because you need to take one more step back, because now you're not reaching the chair anymore.